Yes, I did count. There's only 119 games that use the Amiibos, and only about 30% of them actually get added content instead of just reading them. And with the price increase in these Amiibos, I don't think that the Amiibos are even worth it anymore. Especially considering that the large majority of them hardly do anything for the gameplay, period. Before we get into some deep detail, please hit the like button at the end if you enjoyed. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the notification bell. I hope my thumbnail drew you in. I really appreciate everyone who checks out my videos and reaches out. It honestly means the world to me. Enjoy the video, everybody. Now, Nintendo has increased the price of the Switch 2 accessories, and that also includes the Amiibos, because at first they were $29.99, now they're $34.99. The original prices were already expensive when the Amiibo and Switch 2 prices were first announced after the Switch 2 Direct. But they increased the price for all this stuff 2 times, and the second time just happened more recently. Now just the regular Amiibo are $35. These figures barely do anything for the gameplay, and we're forced to pay $35 for them. Nintendo, why? Compared to how much games you've released for the 3DS, Wii U, Switch, and Switch 2 combined, 119 games using the Amiibo is a low amount. I mean, hardly any of these add content to the game, and the ones that do are really dang cool. Like, I know that the Wolf Link Amiibo adds like a new level where you're stuck as Wolf Link the entire time in Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, and using Ganondorf Amiibo skins in a hero mode for Twilight Princess on the Wii U. I don't know. I just don't know. I have a couple Amiibo of my own, and I hardly use them at all. These Amiibos weren't even worth $12 back when they were first released. They were barely even worth that. If Nintendo really wants to solve the problem with the Amiibo, they should just discontinue the lineup, especially with the fact that they've increased the prices. Maybe instead of releasing these Amiibos that barely have any compatibility, they should just make these figures bigger, not have that little stupid circle that they have that connects to each device. Make them bigger and just make it so that they're for display options. That would probably make them $25 or even $30. The point being, what I'm saying is that these Amiibos aren't really worth it anymore because they don't add anything. So Nintendo is just better off making these figures bigger, and if they want to sell them. But even if they were bigger, they wouldn't even be worth $35 or $40. Even if Nintendo were to make it so that these games do have more compatibility with the Amiibos, and the Amiibos don't do tiny things like the Kong letters for DK Bonanza, and just made them bigger content, then again, maybe they'd be worth it. But then, even if you did read in an Amiibo just to get some downloadable content from the Amiibo, you might as well just be getting the DLC up front rather than just getting, what word do I use to describe? Oh, I don't know, physical DLC? I don't think I know of a Metroid game or a Pokemon game that use these Amiibos at all. Although I will say, it's kind of funny that Nintendo snuck some Amiibos into the Bowser and Donkey Kong Skylanders. Don't ask how I know about that. But no matter what Nintendo could do to try to even fix these Amiibos lineup, no matter what they do, there is nothing that they can do to make these Amiibo worth it. They're better off just being tiny collectibles worth $5 or $10 than just downloadable content that are physical only. Now, we all know that Nintendo is never going to discontinue these Amiibo until at least halfway through the Switch 2 generation. I'm sorry, but I've just accepted that reality. The reason? Well, as of now, there have been 77 million Amiibo figures sold worldwide. Like, do I really need to say more? But the thing is that there was such a dramatic price increase from the Switch 1's Amiibos to now. The first price increase was just from $12.99 to $17.99, which was alright. but the change from $18 to $30 to $40 was so dramatic. And now the Amiibos have been increased in price again. The Amiibo wasn't worth getting in the first place because the content was very lackluster, but the price was also reasonable because of how little impact the Amiibos did. But now Nintendo is shoving in our face extra prices that we need to fork over if we want these Amiibo. I'm not sure how many people will actually do this because, like I said, the content and impact that these tiny figures even offer is very tiny. So they weren't worth getting before, and because of the increase in price, they're just not worth getting, period. Now, do I expect for Nintendo to discontinue these Amiibo at some point in the future? No. Do I expect them to drop the price as well as all the other accessories as well as the Switch to itself once the sales are down in like 5 years? Probably yeah. The real summary though is that because of how little Amiibo Nintendo has released and how little they offer, I really don't see any point in getting these unless you're a die-hard Nintendo fan. The price hikes for Switch 2 is one thing, but the Amiibo hardly offer anything and they're getting a price increase anyway. I mean, Nintendo has made a lot of greedy decisions lately, but this is by far one of the worst ones. I guess the real summary here is that don't get the Amiibo anymore. Yep, that's just how I'm ending the video. Don't get the Amiibo anymore, you'll be fine. Listen, if you're working your butt off by working 2 part-time jobs and 1 full-time job in order to afford all this stuff that Nintendo is putting out, then I can't help but respect you, but you might as well be saving your money for even just the PlayStation and Xbox lineup because all these accessories just, I guess in summary, save your money. Amiibo aren't worth it anymore. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the notification bell. Please, I appreciate everyone who reaches out. I will see you all next time. Take it easy.